This is a being and becoming midday reset. Take a breath. You've been going all morning. For the next few minutes, let's clear the noise and find your focus again. Movement 1, the 3 o'clock reach. Acknowledge that automatic thing you do every afternoon without deciding to. The snack, the scroll, the second coffee. It's not weakness, it's a loop. It's the middle of the afternoon and something is about to happen. You might not notice it as a decision because it doesn't feel like one. It feels more like gravity. A pull toward the break room, the vending machine, your phone, the coffee maker, the browser tab you keep open for exactly this moment. Something in your body says, I need something. And before you've consciously chosen anything, you're already reaching. Maybe it's the second or third coffee of the day. Maybe it's something sweet. Maybe it's 15 minutes on your phone that you told yourself would be 2. Maybe it's all 3 in sequence. A little afternoon ritual you didn't design but somehow perform with remarkable consistency, day after day, like clockwork. You've probably told yourself you should stop, or at least cut back. You've probably tried willpower. Monday starts strong. By Wednesday, you're back in the break room with a cookie in one hand and your phone in the other, wondering why this keeps happening when you keep deciding it shouldn't. Here's the thing, nobody tells you about that 3 p.m. moment. It's not a failure of discipline. It's not a character flaw. It's a habit loop. And it's running exactly the way habit loops are supposed to run. Your brain built it on purpose. It's doing its job. The problem isn't that the loop exists. The problem is that you've been trying to fight it with the wrong tools. So let's look at it differently. Not as something to resist, but as something to understand. Because once you see the loop for what it is, it gets a lot easier to change what it does. Movement 2. How the loop actually works. Recalibrate the 3-part habit loop. Why willpower fails against it. And the one part you can actually change. Every habit, no matter how complex it looks from the outside, runs on the same 3-part structure. There's a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue is the trigger, the thing that tells your brain to start the sequence. The routine is the behavior itself, the thing you actually do. And the reward is what your brain gets out of it, the payoff that makes it worth repeating. Your 3 p.m. habit has all 3. The cue is partly the clock and partly your body. Around mid-afternoon, your circadian rhythm dips. This is biological, not optional. Your core body temperature drops slightly. Your alertness decreases. Your blood sugar may be falling from lunch. Your brain, which has been making decisions and processing information all morning, is running on a thinner reserve of glucose and attention. That dip is real, and it's going to happen whether you want it to or not. That's the cue. And your brain, being the extraordinarily efficient pattern matching machine that it is, has learned exactly what to do when that cue arrives. It fires up the routine, the reach for sugar, or caffeine, or your phone, or whatever your particular version is. And then comes the reward. A brief spike of energy from the sugar, a hit of alertness from the caffeine, a little burst of dopamine from the notification, the scroll, the novelty of something new on the screen. Here's what makes this so hard to change with willpower alone. The loop isn't stored in the part of your brain that makes conscious decisions. It lives in the basal ganglia, a deeper, older structure that handles automatic behavior. This is the same part of the brain that lets you drive a familiar route without thinking about the turns, or tie your shoes without looking at your hands. Once a habit is encoded there, it doesn't require conscious thought to execute. It just runs. And trying to override it with willpower is like trying to stop a reflex by thinking really hard about not flinching. You might succeed once or twice, but the machinery is still there, waiting. This is why Monday works and Wednesday doesn't. On Monday, your willpower reserves are fresh. By Wednesday, you've spent 3 days burning conscious effort to override an automatic system. And the automatic system wins because it doesn't get tired. It just keeps firing. But there's a piece of this that changes everything once you see it. Research on habit change has consistently shown that you cannot eliminate a habit loop. The cue will keep arriving. The brain will keep wanting a reward. What you can do, and what actually works, is swap the routine while keeping the cue and the reward in place. The cue stays, 3 p.m, energy dips. Your brain says, I need something. The reward stays. You need a genuine shift in how you feel. A moment that breaks the monotony and gives your brain something it's been missing. But the routine, the thing you actually do in between, that's the part with room to move. The key is figuring out what reward your current routine is actually delivering. This is where most people get it wrong. They assume the reward is the obvious one. I eat the cookie because I want sugar. I check my phone because I'm addicted to notifications. But often, the real reward is something else entirely. Maybe the cookie isn't about sugar. Maybe it's about the walk to the break room, the 2 minutes away from your desk, the brief social interaction with whoever else is there. Maybe the phone isn't about notifications. Maybe it's about mental variety. A few minutes where your brain gets to process something that isn't the project you've been staring at since noon. Once you identify the actual reward, you can find a different routine that delivers the same thing without the part you're trying to change. If the reward is a break from your desk, a 5-minute walk delivers it better than a cookie and leaves you more alert, not less. If the reward is mental variety, switching to a different work task for 10 minutes scratches the same itch without the guilt spiral of a phone scroll. If the reward is genuine energy, a glass of cold water and 2 minutes of stretching does more for your afternoon alertness than caffeine, which borrows energy from later and charges interest. Movement 3. Your loop, your choice. So think about yours right now while this is fresh. What do you reach for when the afternoon dip arrives? Don't judge it, just name it. The coffee, the candy drawer, the phone, the trip to the vending machine. Whatever it is, it's been working for your brain, or you wouldn't keep doing it. Now ask yourself, what's the actual reward? Not the surface one, the real one. Is it energy, distraction, a break from sitting, a moment of social contact, something to look forward to in a long stretch of afternoon? Sit with it for a second. The answer might surprise you. And then, just for today, try one swap. Keep the cue, keep the reward, change the middle. If your loop is about energy, try the water and the stretch instead of the sugar. If it's about escape, try 10 minutes on a different task instead of 10 minutes on your phone. If it's about a break from your desk, take the walk, but skip the vending machine. You're not trying to eliminate the loop. You're not fighting your brain. You're working with it. You're honoring the cue, delivering the reward, and just adjusting what happens in between. That's not discipline. That's design. It won't feel natural the first time. The old routine will pull. That's fine. It pulled because it worked, and your brain doesn't give up working systems easily. But if the new routine delivers the same reward, your brain will notice. Not today. Maybe. But by next week, the pull toward the old routine will be a little softer. By the week after, softer still. That's not willpower. That's the loop rewriting itself, which is what loops do when you give them something better to run. The 3 p.m. dip isn't going anywhere. It's built into your biology. But what you do with it is not. That part belongs to you. And now you know how the machinery works. That's your reset. You didn't need an hour. You didn't need a plan. You just needed a few minutes to come back to yourself. The rest of the day is still yours. Go make it count, gently.